The Heat's position as number one in the East can come as a big surprise to certain people, considering the fact that this team simply has not been healthy all year. If you look at the numbers right now, Jimmy and Bam together this season, the Heat's two best players, have only played about 900 minutes together. That's close to about 23 games together this season out of the 64. Bam and Lowry, another one of the Heat's main players, only played 700 minutes. That's about 20 games this season. If you look at just the amount of games everybody's missed, Bam and Jimmy missed a combined 45 games. Tyler Hero has missed 13. Kyle Lowry's missed 16. PJ Tucker's missed 8. Markieff Morris has missed 54. And Victor Oladipo has missed all 64 games. So that's not only a testament to just how good this team is, but just how well they can develop players to fill roles when certain guys are up. It's just a next man up mentality for this team. But today we're going to talk about just how good this team is when they're completely healthy, and that's probably about to happen very soon, as Victor Oladipo is now cleared waivers and he is now about to be able to play in Monday's game after missing the entire year recovering from a knee injury. And right now you may ask the question, what can a guy that's only played about 30 games in the past 2 years, what can he really bring to this team? And I'll tell you. So now, as of right now, Victor Oladipo, in those 4 games he played with the Heat earlier last year, he's only averaged 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals on 37% shooting and 24% from 3. Now, let's completely forget the fact that he had a lot of rust on him at the time and he was working that off. He was also dealing with a nagging injury that just got worse as he played. So let's ex-nay that out of the conversation completely, because right now on this team he will not have starters level minutes. Consider the fact that the Heat starting lineup is pretty locked, so he will be coming off the bench. So what can he bring to this team that a guy like Caleb Martin, that's been playing out of his mind this year, can't bring off the bench right now? Because if you're looking for a guard next to Tyler, Caleb Martin's been the perfect guy, the perfect catalyst on defense, great on offense, pretty good shooter. So what can Victor Oladipo truly do that he can't with the level of minutes he's having? And right now, I think we completely forgot that Victor Oladipo was an all-star a couple years ago and one of the league's best players. While injuries has definitely taken him out, he's still one of the league's best players. And while he may take some minutes away from Gabe, Max, and Caleb, I don't think you'll see those guys be out of the lineup completely. I think he'll have to prove himself to work his way into the rotation completely. At least that's both system normally. And as the year goes on, when the lineups do start to tighten, as the playoff time starts coming around, if Vic's able to prove himself, the lineups may shrink and he'll be the guy in the lineup outside. And I think the person that may be the odd one out, depending on Duncan's shooting, would be Max. But as of right now, I think you can expect Vic to bring to this team irrefutable scoring ability and elite all-NBA level defense at his peak. And right now, I don't know what you expect from him completely, depending on what the injuries are and how well he does come back, but I still expect him to give us the same 12 to 14 points per game, a good 4 to 5 rebounds, 3 to 4 assists, about 1 to 1.5 steals per game, on about a good decent maybe 40 to 44% from the field, and at least 30 to 35% from 3. Now, if he's able to provide that this season or the remaining games and in the playoffs, I don't see a team in the Eastern Conference that can truly compete with the Miami Heat around playoff time. They match up extremely well, especially with him coming off the bench with somebody like Tyler. Now you have Tyler Hero coming in with Victor Oladipo, a guy that can take the bigger defensive responsibilities off Tyler, and Tyler can focus even more on being a scorer, which is already insane considering the fact that he's already scoring 20 points per game this season. So I do think Vic brings a whole new dimension and dynamic to this team, and if he's able to get back to the all-star form, which I don't think he is, but on the off chance he does, I think then we can securely say that this team is probably the best team in the NBA and is a true championship favorite going into the NBA playoffs. And to be honest, in the closing minutes of the game, something that Vic does amazingly well that Tyler and Jimmy does struggle with sometimes, and that's scoring against length. Vic's athleticism, speed, and dexterity around the rim allows him to finish around among the trees and also be pretty good against big guys and get open shots. Tyler and Jimmy, while they're both amazing scorers, they have struggled against length. Jimmy's struggled mightily against the Milwaukee Bucks this season. Every single game we've played against the Cleveland Cavaliers, we've had trouble scoring against that big lineup. And I do think Vic can add a dimension to this team that doesn't struggle against teams like that. And with the time he's also missed this season, going into the offseason, I don't think he can really call for a large contract with this contract being up. So we can re-sign him for probably what is not a lot of money, and he may sign another one-year deal so he can prove himself for another bigger bag. But he's also 28 years old. So with nagging injuries throughout his entire career, entering his 30s, I don't think he can really call for that much money. So he could always be a pretty complimentary piece on this team, even if he's able to reach that all-star form again. And should we be able to have to rebuild this team if Jimmy somehow, falls off a cliff and, is not the same player he is, even though we're still paying him a lot of money, Vic is another tradable asset that we can move around to find more all-star pieces to bring to this team. So overall, him coming back does nothing but good for the Miami Heat. If he's not the same person he was before, we have him on a one-year contract, he'll be off the team next year, you don't have to re-sign him. Not to mention the fact that even if Vic does come back and not the same player as he was before, or at least not giving the production that you think he is, we have somebody like Caleb that's giving us the production that we thought we'd get from somebody like Vic anyway. So it's really not that big of a deal. And if Vic does come back and does give us the production we expect, I can see him as in a role player role, just like somebody like Mikal Bridges, Alonzo Ball, that is just an amazing 3-and-D player, or I guess not really a 3-point shooter, but a good scoring wing with amazing defensive ability. That's on a team that desperately needs those two attributes going into playoff time, coming off the bench next to Tyler. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Vic is going to come back in all-star form? Do you think he'll come back in a great role player form? Do you think he'll probably not be the same player at all? Let me know how you guys feel in the comment section below. But yeah, I'm excited for the rest of this season going to playoff time. That being said, stuff I'll be. It's my time, and I'm out.